for second year mechanical. This is the subject strength of material, in which we were looking for unit second, simple stresses and strains. In the last lecture we have solved some problems of moment of inertia and studied some part of the simple stresses and strains. Okay, let's recall few things from this simple stresses and strain from the last lecture. What was strength, hardness, ductility, possessing material we have studied, type of body, that is elastic, plastic, rigid. Then we have also studied deformation, type of load, direct, eccentric, shear. Then we have also studied stresses. A simple formula for stress is what? Force upon cross sectional area. Okay, like if this is a circular rod, color. Okay, this is if this is a rod of uniform diameter d having cross sectional area pi d square by 4, and if F is applied load on its longitudinal direction or along its axis, then the stress is equals to force or load per unit area. Its unit was Newton per meter square. So all these things we have studied. Then also we have studied type of stresses, that is tensile stress, compressive stress, then shear stress also we have studied, shear stress. Now the next thing is what? Strain. Okay, in this strain, these are also of two types, three types, or four types. Let's see one by one. Now first see what is meant by strain. Okay, what is meant by strain? If you can see here, strain is what? It is change in dimension upon original dimension. This is meant by strain. Okay, this is called as strain. That means if there is a rod, we have applied a force F to this rod. Its initial length was L, and because of this force F, if the deformation dl is occurs, if deformation dl occurs in this particular rod, then the strain in this rod can be written as dl upon capital L. Okay, this dl is what? Change in dimension, and this capital L is what? It is original dimension. Therefore strain is defined as it is the ratio of change in dimension to the original dimension. As now if we are looking for unit, you can read this statement: no unit as strain is the ratio of same quantity. Okay, if change in length is there, it will be also in meters, and then if original dimension of that rod, which will be also measured in meter. Therefore meter will get cancelled, will get cancelled, and the unit of strain will be, or there will be no unit of strain, as it is the ratio of two same quantities. Now there are types of strain. Four type of strain are there: longitudinal strain, again tensile strain and compressive strain, as like stress, lateral strain, volumetric strain, and shear strain. So these are the four types of strain. Let's see one by one. Okay, longitudinal strain or linear strain, this thing just we have studied. Now let's see. This is the rectangular rod. Its original length is L. Because of this force P or load P, the deformation has occurred over here, and which is equals to dl. Therefore, for this particular figure or for this particular rod, we can write the equation of strain like this. Strain, longitudinal strain or linear strain is equals to change in length, that is dl, upon original length capital L. Okay, now let's see the definition. When the body of elastic body or an elastic material subjected to a load P, then there is change in length in the direction of applied force. This change in length per unit original length is called as longitudinal or linear strain. You can simply see over here that the change in length per unit original length or linear strain. Then where L is original length, dl is change in length. Now dl will be increasing if tensile load is applied on body as shown in figure above. dl will be decreasing if compressive load is applied on the body. Then next one is lateral strain. Okay, next is lateral strain. Now same as that of longitudinal, this lateral strain is there when the elastic body is subjected to an axial load. Okay, keep in mind this thing, the body is subjected to an axial load. Okay, axial load is applied, then there is change in breadth and thickness. Okay, that means in the previous example we just have studied the change in length in only axial direction. Okay, this much part we have studied. Okay, in last this was the change in length. This was stuff we have studied in last strain, that is linear linear strain or longitudinal strain. But on account of this expansion there will be decrease in the thickness of this rod. Okay, you can imagine that if you are stretching this rod in this way, its length will increase. On the account of this increase in length, there will be decrease in the thickness of this material. Okay, thickness will be decreased. Okay, this is happening in lateral direction. Okay, therefore this type of strain is called as lateral strain. Okay, I am repeating again that if axial load is applied to the body, this is body, axial load is applied, then its elongation will occur in the longitudinal direction. But one more thing will happen, the body will get compressed laterally. Okay, that means its thickness or width will decrease. That's what is a lateral strain. Okay, let's see the definition further. Okay, when elastic body is subjected to an axial load, then there is a change in breadth and thickness, that is lateral dimension of rectangular body, and change in diameter in case of circular bar. So the ratio of change in lateral dimension to the original dimension is called as lateral strain. Okay, so the change in lateral dimension to the original dimension is called as lateral strain. You can see the definition also. The ratio is given for rectangular bar. dB is the width, b is the original width, dt is the thickness or change in thickness, and there should be t, not b. t is the original thickness. Okay, now for circular bar, area will decrease or its diameter will decrease. So delta d is the change in diameter and capital D is its original diameter. Okay, this was the lateral strain. Okay, lateral strain. Previous was longitudinal strain in which change in length, load was actually applied. Okay, axial load was applied and the axial deformation was occurred. But in this, because of axial load, in this lateral strain, because of axial load, the dimension are changing laterally. Therefore, this strain is called as lateral strain. Now next one is volumetric strain. Volumetric strain. You can consider a balloon. If you take a balloon in which air is filled, then if you take this balloon deep into the water, you have to take that balloon deep into the water, then uniform pressure will apply on that balloon from all the sides. Okay, therefore the volume of that balloon will get decreased. Therefore the in that place or at that place, the strain is called as volumetric strain. You can simply see over here, when the elastic body or elastic material undergoes some external load applied on its face, there will be change in its volume per original volume. This strain is called as volumetric strain. Okay, this is the volumetric strain. Change in volume upon original volume, that is dV, is change in volume, V is original volume. This is what a volumetric strain. Now next one is shear strain. Okay, as we have studied shear stress, like that there is also a shear strain. Now see over here, that is a rectangular shaped body is placed over there, and external load P is applied from this place. Okay, now the deformation has occurred, the body has shifted to this new position. Okay, you can see over here, by the deflection is given in terms of phi. Phi is the deflection. Now let's see, if we apply shear load P, a shear strain will be produced, which measured by the angle by which the body shift. In above figure, ABCD is rectangular block fixed at one face and force P is to be applied. After the application of force P, it get its shape get distorted. Okay, then through an angle phi, and occupies new position B A dash C dash D. The shear strain is given by tan phi is equals to C dash upon CD. Okay, you can see over here, C dash upon CD. This is change in dimension. Okay, this is change and this was original. Therefore tan phi is equals to, this is actually theta is change in its dimension. So what is, let's see, tan theta is equals to opposite side upon adjacent side. Therefore C dash upon CD, this is the formula for lateral strain. You can see over here, ES or lateral strain is equals to tan phi is equals to C dash upon CD. Theta is very small, you can phi is very small, so you can directly consider it as a phi. Now let's see some more concept. First one is Hooke's law. Okay, what is Hooke's law? Within elastic limit. Okay, Hooke's law is what? Within elastic limit. Okay, Hooke's law works under only elastic limit. So within elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. That means as stress increases, strain will also increase. Okay, now again I am repeating this. Hooke's law states that within elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. Stress is denoted by sigma, strain is denoted by E. Therefore stress is directly proportional to strain, sigma upon E, which is constant. Okay, we have already studied that every stress is accompanied by strain. Okay, longitudinal stress is accompanied by longitudinal strain, then lateral strain. So therefore within elastic limit, every stress is directly proportional to strain. That means if you are applying load P on this bar, the bar will elongate more. Okay, that means you are increasing load, shear will also increases. Sorry, stress will also increases. Stress is what? P upon A. As area, considering area is constant, if you are increasing P, stress is also increasing. That means if you are increasing stress, now consider here you have increased the stress. That means you have applied extra load P. Because of this applied load P, more you applied load, the thickness of this rod will get decrease. Okay, as the load increases, thickness will also decrease. Therefore, if stress increase, strain will also increase. In this way, this Hooke's law works. That is, sigma upon E is constant, and which is called as modulus of elasticity, denoted by capital E, or it has also one more name, that is Young's modulus. Okay, capital E, this is Young's modulus or modulus of elasticity, denoted by capital E, which is equals to sigma upon E. Okay, keep in mind this term, because this will work for everywhere, or this will gonna work everywhere, and this formula is come to use at every problem. Okay, therefore you have to keep in mind it clearly. Now next one is modulus of elasticity, that we have already studied. Same thing is given below definition. Within the elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain, as it was in Hooke's law, and the ratio of stress to strain is constant, and this constant is called as modulus of elasticity or Young's modulus. It is the ratio of tensile strain or compressive stress to compressive strain. E is equals to sigma upon E. Then next one, let's see, most important thing, this is stress strain curve. Okay, important thing in this unit is stress strain curve, which is mostly asked in exam. Stress versus strain. Okay, on y-axis stress is given, on y-axis stress is given, and on x-axis strain is given. Okay, you can see this is up to this, stress is directly, as stress is increasing, strain, okay, here is increasing strain, here in this side increase of strain. Now up to P point is called as elastic limit. Okay, that means up to O to P, this Hooke's law is applicable. Why? Because at this point Q to R, you can see stress is increasing, stress is constant. Okay, stress is constant, but strain is increasing. Okay, this is the increasing strain. Therefore, Hooke's law is not valid for all this whole region, but from O to P, Hooke's law is valid. Therefore, this is called as elastic limit. Okay, Hooke's law was between the elastic limit. What is Hooke's law? Within elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. That means as stress will increase, strain will also increase, but up to P point only. Okay, for every material there is a P point up to which stress is always directly proportional to strain. Okay, now more region are given over there, that is P to Q, then point P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, all these points have some meaning. Okay, this P point is what? Proportional limit. Okay, then Q is elastic limit. That means up to Q, if you apply load up to Q and remove it, body will get its original shape and size. But beyond that Q point, if you stretch beyond the Q, beyond this stress, that is, let me say this stress at Q, If you increase the stress beyond this point, body will not regain its original shape and size. Okay, it will have some permanent deformation. You will study this concept, or you will study these things furthermore. Let's see some basics again. We were at P point. P is what? Elastic limit. Then P is proportional limit, Q is elastic limit, R is called as upper yield point, and S is called as lower yield point. Then T is ultimate load point. T is ultimate load point, and U is breaking point. Okay, actually this is an experiment. From that experiment performed on wire, they have plotted a stress strain relationship depending on the observation observed. Okay, now that experiment we will study in next lecture, and again we will study all these things in stress strain diagram. For today, thank you.